Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's the Entrepreneurs here, and today what we'll be doing is we'll be continuing our Investing with Max series. If you guys have not watched the previous video, I highly suggest you guys go watch that now. As a disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes only, and if you're looking for financial advice, I highly suggest you seek out a registered financial advisor. That makes sense? Let's get started. All right, let's share my screen here. Okay, so as per usual, guys, we're gonna go over Rev Capital, Lifus, BLGB, Weed, ACB, and Tilray, all cannabis, I guess you can say companies. And I'm just gonna make myself a little bit bigger here. And not much going on. You can see here that there was a major percentage uptick, but just because it hit its lower lows in the last couple weeks. So you'll notice that as well, because when we do the support analysis, support and resistance, you'll be able to see the big volume and it going down quite significantly, and there's no big news going on. It's just because a lot of people are anticipating news, but nothing is really coming into fruition. But let's go over Rip Capital here. So you can see the last trading day, it was up 11%, up 1 cent, and it's at 10 cents. But even before that, guys, like what you can see here is that the volume is pretty significant in some of those days. So you can see here it's like 3.2 for this one here. As you can see, then on the day before, so the 15th, it was 3.2. Then the day before that, the 14th, 31K. And after that, on the 13th, it was 4K. But look at this major jump, 275K on Tuesday on the 12th. Then it kind of like 1K, 5K on the 11th and 8th. Then the one before that on the 7th, 377. And the one on the 6th is 334K. So you can see that there's not continuous kind of like a volume picking up. It's just more of like goes up, then down, up, then down, up and down, and you can see the reflection of that on the support resistance. For example, so you can see here on the 8th, basically it broke the resistance, or sorry, the support. Essentially, it closed at 11 cents, but it hit a low of 10 cents and a high of 11. But the day after that, basically it just went sideways. Then this is where it really hit the support, where it went down and it closed at 9 cents, which was on the 14th, right? Then after that, the next trading day, which was the 15th, went up 1 cent. So you can see 11% increase. So yeah, that's just the major thing that that we noticed so far, is that not much traction going on in the cannabis space. So we're seeing the effect of that, of just the hitting the lower lows of the stock SP, the share price. Okay, so that's Rev. So if I go here and I click on Rev Capital, what you can see here, it says Nuber. This was March 12th. So Rip Capital just filed a news release, and that was on the February 29th. So not much major news there. But going over to the next one, which is Lifus. So this one here, they had pretty major news. They were saying that the CEO essentially is being replaced, but I'll show you that later on, CEO.ca. But essentially, Lifus has been at the half a cent share price, and it's been there ever since. And volume, you can see here, is very choppy. You don't see a continuous increase of volume. You can just see that I'll have a major spike, then I'll go down, major spike, then I'll go down. So not much with Lifus, but with the latest news that the CEO will essentially be gone. So I'm just gonna go to Lifus here, click on this. So it looks like there's a lot of chatter going on. It's saying Amazon and cannabis. Namaste plans for explosive growth in Canada. That's what 6 hours ago. What happened here? That was way back. People should go back to the late 2018 and early 2019, just see what this clown sold off over the years. Everything that was succeeding or about to see seems to have been sold off prior to the regulation change. Then after that, since we are keeping Canmark, I'm going to continue sharing the opium here. So marijuana. So where was that article? So if I go up here, it looks like there's a lot of messages. So Tilray will introduce new superfood. Yeah, so this one here, corporate update many. So this is the CEO stepping down as the CEO. So if you do click on this, guys, what's going to happen is it's going to tell you what's going to occur in the next few months and weeks here. But essentially, he'll be still be a CEO until they find a new one. And yeah, you can see here, wishes to announce stepping down as CEO. Life's board of director, led by Brandon Spikes, has completed its executive search and appointment a new CEO to assume leadership of Life's until a new CEO has been selected. Mr. Morum has agreed to remain and will continue to serve as CEO at reduced compensation to keep the operating subsidiaries on track through the strategic pivot to increase focus on micra, cellular science, and Aussie vapes. So yeah, that's what it's saying there. So pretty crazy how, Life's, who used to be Namaste Technologies, then, changed the name to Life's, and the whole business model at the very beginning in 2018 and 19, they were to be the Amazon of the cannabis space, and that essentially all changed because of different regulation and et cetera, right? And just how the business evolved. So at the beginning of 2018 and 19, I definitely thought that this would be the next big thing, especially it was always referred to be the next Amazon in the cannabis space, right? But all of that seems like that it's all changed. Okay, so that's Life's. So BLGV going here, still pretty stagnant. You can see here trading sideways, not much volume traction. You're looking at like, let's say 7K volume, 28K volume. You see some major spikes here in November, but not much, 370. But overall, still trading sideways. And if you go to BLGV on the CEO channel, there's some few people that are messaging, but not much. So the last update from somebody that messaged was February 21st this year. Many only holds 143K worth of stock. I guess that is 10% of the company, but you can fire him as they don't have the 1.57 million severance money, and his salary is 540K a year, which they also can't afford. No cash. Please consider. So yeah, that's BLGB at its current state. Weed, so you can see that it's up like 11%, almost 12% here, and you can see that the stock is going down significantly still. Like you can see from its high on the 15th, it wasn't really like a super high, it was just like a big peak, then it went down ever since. But the volume, so you can see here compared to the smaller guys, the volume is pretty stagnant, pretty good. There's no, it's not all over the place, right? Like you can see here, 1.5 million. The day before that was 7,226K. But yeah, because it did a reverse split as well. So you have to really note that whatever this share price is for weed at $4.18, think about this as like 41 cents. So it actually hit its lowest low this year. I haven't seen weed get to this point before when it hit this share price. The only time I seen it, like essentially right now it's saying $4.18, but you can actually think of it as 41 cents just because they did a 10-to-1 split. You get a reverse split actually. Then from there, it's like ever since when they started way back, they were trading at that share price. But yeah, that's essentially weed right now. Not much traction going on. We really need big news to get this to do a reversal. And if I go to weed here, if I click on it, you can see the last update was March 15th. Next week could get very interesting. It's up another 16 after hours. CGC still has to prove it's turning things around and not losing fortune, so I will wait patiently for some numbers. So yeah, we'll see what's going on there. So some people are very optimistic and they're very bullish. You can see load up boys, looks like good things are coming, right? So that's weed. Let's look at ACB. So ACB is also up 11%. So when I was looking at this last week on the trading day, yeah, I was kind of curious. I'm like, oh, why are they all going up? 11%, 12%, 7%, and etc. for the big threes. And it was interesting because I looked into it and there was no major news. So maybe there is something brewing that I'm not aware of. But that's what I noticed, is that majority of the stock, Tilray, ACB, weed, they were increasing all at the same time. So you can see here, ACB did another reverse split as well. So right now it's at $4.34. So same kind of pattern as weed, ACB, Tilray. They follow the same thing. It hits its lowest low for this year. And to be honest, I think lowest low of all time, right? So volume, you can see 1.3 mil, 680. But yeah, it's not too bad compared to compared to February. Volume was super low, right? February, January, but now it's starting to pick up again. So that's for ACB. Going to co.ca and go click on ACB. So it looks like it had a bunch of chatters going on. So the latest one was yesterday, manager corporate accounting and consolidation. Then some YouTube video here. Let the game start. It's up 17% boys. Let's get it. So yeah, interesting. Then it's doing a parabolic. Somebody's saying it's just flying. This is day one. Let's go finally. So it looks like a lot of people are bullish just because of the increase of the SP. And going over to Tilray. So yeah, you can see here Tilray, similar to Tilray ACB weed, but not as significant as you can see, like a huge downtrend. For I guess Tilray, you can see it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's pretty, essentially, it's not as similar as weed. You can see just one major spike, then it went up a little bit and kept on going down. But for Tilray, it's actually holding its SP share price. So it did a gap up, then after that it did a major spike, then it kind of consolidated a little bit here, then it went down, then it did like a U shape here. It looks like kind of like a cup and handle. Then it didn't break the support and resistance. So I guess in here the resistance, right? Then it went down essentially. But that's full for Tilray. Volume, it's the same in the millions, 1.89. The one before that was at the 6K. But if I go to Tilray here, so right now it's at $2.35. So it's up 8.67 after hours Friday. So it looks like it's very bullish. Then we can see here, I guess there was March 15th, VP Kamala Harris tells DEA to reschedule marijuana as quickly as possible at White House meeting with pardon recipients. And it was published on March 15th, so this was on Friday by Kyle Geiger. So let me take a look at this. I don't think I've seen this one yet. Okay, VP Kamala Harris tells DEA to schedule marijuana as quickly as possible at White House meeting with pardon recipients. Vice President Kamala Harris says that the drug enforcement must reschedule marijuana as quickly as possible, calling it absurd and patently unfair that cannabis is still classified in the same category as heroin. At the beginning of the meeting at the White House with a group of people who receive marijuana pardon under the president proclamations, Harris delivered a state promotion, both administration clemency action and marijuana scheduling directive, US ACCS, to recommend a DEA reschedule cannabis under the control of Controlled Substance Acts of CSA. I cannot emphasize enough. They need to get this as quickly as possible. And we need to have a resolution based on their findings of their assessment. The issues start from considering current marijuana consideration as dangerous as heroin and more dangerous as fentanyl, which is absurd, not to mention patently unfair. I'm sure DEA is working as quickly as possible and will continue to do so, and we look forward to the product of their work. Okay, then what else did they say here? The overall purpose of the Friday meeting was to better understand the pardon recipients' clemency experience and addressing specifically the injustice that we have seen in the federal marijuana policy. She said this event comes as administration become increasingly vocal about cannabis reform record ahead of the November election. So yeah, so make sure that we have this all on the November election. This is very crucial, so it's coming up. So that could be another catalyst, guys. So just to kind of be aware of that date, so November election. So nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed. And what we need to do is recognize that the far too many people have been sent to jail for simple marijuana possession, Vice President said, noting racial disparities in cannabis enforcement. And we can see here, following her opening remark, Harris then participated in a closed-door roundtable discussion with the three pardon recipient along with Kentucky Governor, Andy Bishern, and rapper Fat Joe. Rapper Fat Joe. Okay, so yeah, also I guess this is the video of it. If you guys are interested, definitely just head to this link here, click play, then you'll be able to see what went down in that open table. Or yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it here. VPS, Windows Linux VPS. Okay, that's Telray. What else? Was there anything else? The Biden health official defends marijuana rescheduling recommendation against criticism from GOP senator published on March 14th. So the same person message published something on the 14th and also on the 15th. Then after that, Tilray Medical received approval for first medical cannabis extract in Portugal. And if you click on that, you can essentially see more of what the article is about. But basically, that's pretty much it. There is something coming down the pipe, but essentially it's not concrete. So that's why, in the last weeks, we see a downtrend that keeps happening until Friday when, we are hearing some news about reformation of the cannabis rescheduling. So they keep talking about that even last year. So people are maybe gearing up again and essentially getting more traction, but we'll see what happens, right? So what I'll show you guys now is I'll show you the usual. So this is the current scenario or the current circumstance for my one of my holding. You can see Lifeis is essentially down 98.35%, 13,599.82 cents, and Riv Capital is down 91% and 91.31% and down almost $1,000, so 925.15 cents. Overall, basically unrealized loss is 96,000, negative 96.94%, negative 14,623.32 cents. So that's pretty much it. So until next time, hopefully we hear a lot more news coming down the pipe, just because you've probably seen it in the last year or so that the stock price for the cannabis space has been going down. And we definitely want to see a reversal, especially if you're bullish. So until then, we'll see you guys in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.